Kathryn here with Handmade by Circle Art Designs. Well, we're in the rundown to Christmas, so let's make some snowmen. Look at these beautiful little snowmen. I made some snowmen a couple of years ago, but I came across a picture in Fire Mountain, and they had just been flipping through looking for something for another project. I saw a picture of snowmen and they had put a little hat on it. I had never thought about that. And so I looked at that picture and said, I think I can do that, and I'll tweak it a little bit to make it my own. So let's turn our eyes to the mat. And speaking of tweaking something to make it your own, as I look at this thankful and blessed mat today, let's clean it off just a little bit. And I am truly thankful and blessed. But in one of my Advent readings this week, it was talking about who you give credit for or to. And I think sometimes, at least in my own life, if I'm not very careful and something goes very right, I kind of tweak it a little bit, at least in my own mind, and say, look how great I did. When in reality, in the quietness of the moment, I realize that everything good that the Lord has put in my life is truly the Lord has put it in my life. We don't need to tweak things that God brings our way. We just need to live in the moment. And that was such a blessing. I am truly thankful and blessed for this. Now, how about you? What are you thankful and blessed for today? Christmas is coming up. It's the last part of Advent where we're preparing for Christ's second coming as we wait in anticipation for the celebration of his first. All right, let's turn our eyes to the mat. Now, isn't this a beautiful snowman palette? I just love these. I'm going to start out with these 10 millimeter glass pearls, and they're in a cream color. And then I have some 8 millimeters as well. Then I have pulled out my rhinestone rondelles in the black rhinestones, and these are in 8 millimeter. Aren't those cute? Now, this is something I did not do on my first go round with the snowmen, but I am now. And now we're using some cubes. Those cube beads I got in a mix, and I had never used them. And I went, oh, this is perfect. They're in a frosted bluish black. Then I'm using 3 sizes of jump rings. I made these with my bell pliers. I used 1, 2, and 3. I've also pulled out some cubes in an AB flash. And I am going to pull out some rhinestone rondelles. I have my 3 millimeter spacer balls. I am making these for myself, so they'll be on clips. And I have some eye pins. I'm going to use my curved pliers, my chain nose, and my straight nose pliers. And of course, we're going to need some wire cutters. All right, so I think that's everything I've got. This is in my stash. All of this is coming from my stash. Let's straighten this out. And I did make the eye pins too, and I just turned it with my straight nose pliers. I'm putting on the 10 millimeter pearl, that 8 millimeter rhinestone rondelle, and then an 8 millimeter pearl, then another rhinestone rondelle, and that little cube bead. Now, isn't that cute? That is so cute. Now, if you wanted to stop there, you could. I always put on a spacer ball at the top. It protects the beads whenever I'm going to do the turn, and it makes the piece look finished. Remember, in other things I've said, I like it to build up and then down. Well, this one is just building at the bottom because it is a snowman. I've cut this off about 1/4 of the way across my pointer finger. That's how I measure. And then I'm turning it I slipped. I'm turning it with the very tip of my chain nose pliers. When I get that closed, I'm going to back it off some, and then I'm going to use That was my straight nose pliers. And then I'm going to use my chain nose pliers and finish that one up just like that. Now then, I needed to back it off a little more. So I opened it up. I backed it off because I got it too close to, and it was setting, the hole was too small. So if you do that, just open it back up and try it again. All right. And so again, at this point, I'm making sure that the loop on top and the loop on bottom are facing in the same plane. We're going to do this again. We put on the 10 millimeter pearl, the 8 millimeter rhinestone rondelle. Then we're going to put on the 8 millimeter pearl. Then another rhinestone rondelle. And these rhinestone rondelles not only make the brim of the snowman hat, but it also makes kind of like a little scarf. And I had not done that before. And I don't know how old the book was. I save all my Fire Mountain things looking for stuff. And they are reading material. And so I look and I dream. So I want to give them full credit for this design, these design changes, because this is not what I did a few years ago, but I just love these little white snowmen. They are so pretty. But like I said, you don't want to take something that is someone else's design. First of all, if you use it, please always give them credit. But you want to tweak it and make it your own. And so when I built this on eye pins instead of head pins. Now you can build it on a head pin and it can be just a little snowman. But I wanted to make this a two-step dangle. I love two-step dangles. I like the lot of movement. Now both of these are closed. And oh, you know what? I had to put that other one, I decided it was just too small. So I've rebuilt it again, and I'm going to clip the end, giving me a little more space, and then I'm going to close it up. And the reason it was too small is because I had forgotten to put on the second one my 3 millimeter spacer ball at the top to finish it off. So I had to take it completely off. Don't throw your head pins or eye pins away when you have to cut that loop off the top, because if you put them in a little jar, there's always a project that's going to be a shorter project that you can use those for. So don't waste them. They're worth saving. Now, aren't those cute? I just love those. All right, now moving on. I have pulled out some, and see how small those are? I have pulled out some of my 24 gauge head pins. And what I'm looking at here, I was thinking about using the little squares because the little cubes in the ice, because it looked like ice and we're doing snowmen. But my head pins were too small and I really wanted to use the decorative ones. So I have gone to my 4 millimeter bicones. The holes are smaller in them. I don't have to worry about it coming off. And I'm going to do a turn down loop for these. To do that, you're going to hold them right at the points and you're going to make little turns all the way down until you get to the top of your bead, and then just make it snugly there. Back it off a little bit so it'll sit over the top and not off to the side, and that's going to be just this cute little piece of ice at the bottom of these snowmen. And that is how I have made this my own. I made it a two-step dangle, and then I have added the little ice at the bottom, and I think that is just such a beautiful nod to winter. I wanted to make something in this rundown to Christmas I could give as gifts that could be worn through the whole winter holidays. I thought about showing you how I do Christmas trees and candy canes, and I have done that, and there are videos out there that I did a few years ago if you're interested and you want to look it up. But this I wanted to give as a gift, and if you don't give it till Christmas and you make something like a Christmas tree, well, then it has to sit in the jewelry box after January 6th when the 12 days of Christmas are up, and you don't get to use it anymore. But with these little snowmen, you can use them all through the winter months. And they are so cute. Now, isn't that adorable? I just love this. I put this on with a jump ring. I hold my jump rings between two of a curved nose and a straight nose, just like that. Turn one side, hold the other side steady. I put on my earring. Then I put on that little charm, that little ice charm at the bottom. And then I close it up again, only turning one side. I rock it a little bit. I touch it, make sure it's closed. And that earring is ready to go on my clips. Now, these are the clips. These are a standard clip. I've used them for years and years. And I love the new ones I've been using, if you've seen some of my other videos, because they really have a lever back look. But these are beautiful, and that little gold at the top, and this is mixed metal. I'm putting it on. Excuse me just a minute. Sorry about that. I had to cough. I'm putting gold ear wires on. I've used copper eye pins and gold jump rings, and I'm using silver rhinestone rondelles. So this is a mixed metal, and I did that so it could be worn with anything. This was an intentional look. People say, did you make a mistake? No, I made it intentional so that whether you're wearing gold, silver, or copper, even brass, these little earrings will be beautiful. So I'm closing this up. These little earrings are all, the loop comes already open. If you're using clips, or even if you're using something else, some other kind of wire, if the loops come already done, be very careful when you're closing them because it's easy to break them off. All right, let's put out my heart and let's look at these lovely little snowmen. Come on, isn't that pretty? I just love that. I gave some of these to our home group this last week because I wasn't going to see we weren't having home group after that meeting until after the first of the year. And so I will be wearing these for the first time this weekend to church. I'm so excited. And I think all the ladies in our home group are wearing theirs too. So I'm excited. Isn't that cute? I just love these little white snowmen. They are so cool. And look how they hang. Isn't that lovely? I just love this. It is so pretty. But, you know, snowmen can come in all colors. So let's take a look at what I made for the ladies in our home group. Our first one up, this is a beautiful blue-gray white snowman. Now, isn't that pretty? And for this one, I found some of the little cubes that were small enough in the hole to do the ice cubes. This one right here is in a pinky lavender white, and he gets a purple charm on the end. These are in a light pink. I just love them. And they too have a ice on the bottom. And then these are in teal. There's a dark teal on the bottom, a light teal on the top. These are fun, beautiful little snowmen. So don't limit yourself to white. They come in all colors, including disco. Now, isn't that cute? Okay, y'all are probably too young for disco, but I remember disco. And whenever I saw those in my stash, I went, oh yes, we're making a snowman out of that too. So that's an ice snowman, and he is ready to dance. All right, so let's look at all of these one more time. Now, isn't that pretty? I just love these. And it was so much fun whenever they opened up their gift, and some of them went ahead and put them on right on the spot. And it was so fun seeing all these different colored little snowmen just dangling off the ears. And it truly reminded me that as God gave us gifts, at Christmas, on the first Christmas, He gave us the best gift of all. And that's what we mimic whenever we make things and give them at Christmas. We are mimicking our Father who gave us the best gift of all. Now, isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. So make some of these little snowmen for yourself because they are so much fun and they are truly, truly beautiful. Oh, isn't that fun? Little bit of product, little bit of time, and you've got your gift. So here are some pictures. Now, isn't that pretty? I kept the white ones for myself because they were the heaviest. And anytime I do a really heavy earring, I am thankful I wear clips because it doesn't pull on my earlobe. But I just love these. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you make some of these for yourself and gifts for friends. You got that last minute party? This is perfect to do. Anyway, look in your stash. See what you have. You're not limited to white or cream. Any color can be a snowman color. God bless you and God keep you safe. Until we meet again, Kathryn, Handmade by Circle Art Designs. God bless y'all. See you later in the week.